It was night. It was a night that would make you puke. Jones Row was already sick as it was. He hadn't even considered where he was headed to get away. All this fierce violence had been racking the streets. On the lookout for him the whole time. He walked down North Ave, down, until he turned the corner, but there he was. Chundoan Brisco stood in his way with one pry-bar arm straight into, swear to God, into his chest. Thank you, Jay. Chundoan stood in his way with one pry-bar arm straight into his chest. Wow, Jow, you look like you're on the way to something fancy. Here, let me spruce you up a bit. Chundoan reached his hands out and took Jow by the throat, his thumbs practically pressing the man's tonsils in. Doan followed this throat disabler with an unbelievable heel kick straight into Jow's chin. The kick bestowed permanent brain damage and blindness in the left eye. A ringing sounded in his ears that would never ever end and ultimately began vibrating through his bones and rattling his soggy teeth out, making them quite long, just like my teeth are starting to get nice and long, 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 long. Jones's mouth became a pelican's pool, filling with thick barf, and even more endless, bloody, alarming pain. No, Brisco, don't hurt me no mo. I got so much more for you, Brisco replied. I told you before, I ain't got the jewels. Oh my God! Chundoan jams his fingers in between Jules' ribs. The popo snap of his cage blew the shirt right off his back and into the street, where it quickly disappeared, carried away by a garbage wind. Geez, kid, you can take a lot of punishment, but here, have this. Once more he snaps Jow's ribs, cracking them all into splinters. Jones Row collapses onto his knees, but before Row can rest on the pavement, Chundoan tombstones Jones Row into outer space, but underground, 20,000 feet down. You ain't coming up in 1,000 years, Jones. You shouldn't have lied to me, but now we're just gonna have to forego trust and process and search your person for any clues. Maybe the jewels themselves even. Saw something jangling inside your rag top. This. Brisco kickflips a skateboard on the top of Jones Row's noggin. The end of Jones Row's dilemma. Here's a Brisco story account from someone on the receiving end. Just one sentence. That night sucked so bad. You see, Chundoan beat me to the fullest. One sentence. Here's a good Chundoan line. Anyone want it? Life is only worth a damn when it's got a gun pointed at it, Chundoan said and smiled, and then disappeared like so much a ghost. You're so fucked, kid. Kid, you're so fucked. Chundoan laughed into Myrna's face before he slapped it. That jog your memory? Myrna didn't respond, so Brisco continued. Don't feed me that horse shit, Myrna, I just ate. Save that junk for Sergeant Big Jake and his jolly band of merry... I'm not saying that out loud right now. By the time Myrna came to from her starry-eyed daymare, Brisco kicked the legs from out under her, sending her deep underwater with a splash of concrete. Puppo best. Oh my God! Choose the end of this Chundoan Brisco story, and you could be eligible to win up to $800,000 in cash prizes. Cash prizes. Listen here, Puppo. I think I've had it up to here with your shit, Chundoan said, then spun in crouch 180 degrees and sprung up jack-in-a-box into a wild dash to cap a powerful crashing exit through the door. Puppo Best stood motionless for a second, one hand deep down in his pocket, romantic gamer there, smirking, smoking a cigarette, subbing and laughing, continuing his journey within a community that he can't find anywhere else. the other crashing an authority mug through what remained of the door. "Fuck yeah!" Best screamed after Chundoan through the doorway. "Fuck yeah!" he repeated. "A dime bag for all your cheek, you spineless flavor!" Brisco danced on out of the station in his waiting, warm car. "Ah, all warmed up." Brisco smiled. His thoughts reverted back to the pickled swine inside. That bitch. "I'll have my boot in his gut one day for that," Brisco said to himself. "He'll be tasting hide till he gets his fitting end, center, mass." Chundoan wondered if he could pull off a Chicago typewriter smile. Could his hand steady this through while they remained fully afflicted by the quake? Good question. Good goddamn, there I go again, he smiled to himself inside. Brisco went cheerfully by the end, and after a moment's thought, cleared his mind of unreal things. He put his cigarette out on the pavement. I need a little action. This is a Chundoan Brisco story, everybody, written by me. What is to be done? Late night tip, holiday, hookup, a minor scuffle, a lucid stonewall. Any car will do as long as it's a Bugatti, moaned Veronica. What? Chundoan said. A night on the town, a mysterious friend, an uncomplicated conclusion. I'm not gay, but I appreciate it. Chundoan chuckled and lit 2 cigarettes, drew one in, fast fuse stuck in his head, racing over towards righteous detonation. Finally an end to the roundabout, thought wheel spinning his mind to shambling pieces. Don't mind me. It's been a rough day. You're new here, right? Chundoan flung the other smoke into Gary's yap. You'll want to take a trip down Union Street about 5 blocks west. Find a fag joint called Power Slave. And if I see the Purple Bishop, I'll tell him your warpath. The general malaise, extreme anxiety, a funeral at dawn. Not so tough, big boy, long Larry Bow. Hearts, hearts, hearts. Not so tough, huh? You're tough now that you found a community that you're going to stick with. For good times and through ill, through high times and through low. No one fearing the way I look, or what I say, or what I think when I'm raw, in the nude, in front of everybody, on camera. I am raw, I am naked, and I am fearless, Charles said to the community of Purites, ready to all get married. I don't mean to spit like that on camera. I hope it didn't go through. Anyway, how about I get a little closer to your face? Chundoan came to and offered a discount whack to his Space Invader's head with such a blatant back fist he died 2 years ago. Betty, call the coroner. Thanks. I'll be back in a little while. Gonna go get laid. Period. End of story. Puppo best. I don't know what version of this is in... I don't even know if this is in the how-to book. I don't know. Oh, sorry guys. I'll be right back 1 second. I hope you guys are enjoying this. This is good. Damn, some of these are classic. I need a long one. The Death of Sammy Selfsame. I mean, I'll read it out. What the hell? Let's just, what the hell? Brisco, mate, was once standing there, but then with a, what the fuck? Brisco's mate, that's what it is. His buddy. What the fuck uttered from his mouth, hands seemingly floating without a body, grabbed his sidearm, and before he could utter a horror shriek, there was a bullet deep in his chest. His mouth was spattered with deep, dark black blood, so dark it didn't look like it was happening. The look in his eyes told another story, this one of complete believing. Ah, there was too much blood. Brisco hadn't seen that much outside of total war zones. This was a war zone now that he was dead, but the double death wasn't finished. For on the way down to his knees, Sammy selfsame took another big bullet from the hand's trigger, right under the chin, a classic brain attack. A make sure, it's sure all right. Brisco yelled the villain's name before he risked everything, put the big hex on him. Selfsame was a good man. Oh, now you're gonna see what the other side like. She walks in. She's fucked up. I can't read that. Woo. Let me read this for 1 second. See if I can even read this out loud. Marge's voice shot up several chilly, shrill registers. Of what was left of the cruel demand next to be spat out of her lips was a dull, dark bark of inner pain, inner silence. Brisco's elbow was still hot from the side of Marge's back, so he brushed it off on one of his two good knees. He was halfway down the hall when he turned back to see Marge still writhing on the floor and yelping in between chomping rounds of burping puke. He managed to mutter Chun's name, but not nearly audible any longer at this distance. A steady and tuneful whistling through C's mouth, a much-needed remedy for choking rag ring-ranged. Oh, the tune was far brighter than you'd expect from a dark gentleman, dark prince, dark bride. Period. End of paragraph. That's so gross. What can I say? Here's the beginning of a story, Salenter it. Chundoan says nothing in return. Jesus, John, Randy says. Why can't you just get along? I always thought you were a... Chundoan grabs Randy, turns him around and digs his mitts into the man's back and fingers out a broken spine he's still crushing. What? Chundoan says, then lets Randy shuffle to the floor like a box of tumbling books. The end.